Hi. Yeah. So now I will send. Now I was trying to send you a video where I show the usher rack assembly because there were clients who were having issues with the assembly. So this is what you will basically get when the usher rack will be shipped to you. If it's a 4-shelf unit, you will get 4 shelves and you will get 4 columns. If it's a 5-shelf unit, you will get 5 shelves. Columns will remain 4. If it's a 3-shelf unit, you will get 3 shelves and you will get 4 columns. Now this version is the black MDF version where the shelves are MDF with black laminate. There's another option where we use maple wood shelves, real wood shelves. That's another option. So in the shelves, if you see the shelves will be about 24 inch wide and 18-inch deep, which will accommodate almost all equipment. This is the top of the shelf. The top of the shelf has no holes. The sides of the shelf will have 2 holes. The bottom of the shelf will have 8 holes, 2 in each corner. These holes will come fitted with inserts, and they will also come fitted with the screws. We have removed the screws currently. So we fit the screws and ship it to you. You will have to remove the screws before assembly. The reason why we ship it with screws is so that is just to make sure that none of the threads are spoiled. So when you will receive the rack will be there with the screws. You need to remove the screws. The inserts will already be placed inside the shelves. So here we have removed the screws. The screws are right here, and now we will go for assembly. Now for assembly, you might need help from another person, and you can watch the video as it goes. There is something that I want to show you on close-up because it may not be possible whilst we are assembling. Now these are the inserts. Now if you see, the inserts have a notch. The notch is there so that you can insert the screwdriver in the notch and turn the insert. The reason for this is that if you see, there are the inserts over here, and as you twist this, the insert inside this will rotate, and thus the screws, thus the threads will line up. So moving the screwdriver around the notch rotates the inserts, which allows you to align the threads over here. Okay, so now let's start. You might need the help of somebody. So one of my staff is holding up the shelf. Here are the 2 holes for the one edge. Here are the 2 holes on the other edge. We're keeping the holes on the top side, and as you can see, the bottom side has the holes over here. Now he's holding it in this way. Now if you see the columns, if you notice the columns closely, you will see that one edge of the columns have threads. So the edge of the columns that have threads is obviously the bottom of the rack, because this is where the spikes will go. The other end will have no threads. That means this is the top of the column. Now if this is the top shelf, so the top of the column will be aligning along this. So that's your way that we are seeing. The top of the column will align along this. So make sure the top of the column is along the top shelf, not the one where the threads are, because you will have to disassemble the entire rack if you make an error and assemble it upside down. There are no threads over here. This is the first shelf, and the no threads will be fitted over here. Okay, so we're keeping a screwdriver in a hand and an Allen key and a screw. So this is how we're doing it. The holes are here. We placed it on the top. Now before we do that, the inserts that are there, they need to be adjusted. So I'm putting in the screwdriver into the notch, and I'm turning it so that I can see the threads. I can see the threads from the top. I can see the threads from the top. I have turned the insert such that I can see the threads on the top, and I do a trial fit. I take the screw and I try it, and there it goes in. It screws inside. I have tried one. I am trying the other. In case it doesn't fit, you take the screwdriver, you insert it from the bottom of the shelf, and you rotate it such that the threads line up so that the screw fits. So this is done. I'm going to put this, and now I'm going to add the screw from the top. Okay, so make sure that we don't tighten the screw too much. We need to leave it loose, because if we tighten it, you will not get the alignment of the rest of the rack. So we leave it. We tighten it only by hand, and we leave it a couple of threads loose. We leave it loose. We've taken another screw, and we've done the same with the other shelf. Now we are bringing in a new shelf. This is the top of the shelf where there are no holes. The bottom of the shelf has holes. So this is going to be our second shelf. We are going to the amount of the gap that we want between our first two shelves. We decide that according to our equipment, and we match the corresponding holes. We match the corresponding holes, and we will now be adding the screws. So as you can see, we have taken 4 shelves, the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see the heights between all the shelves. I have adjusted it differently according to the equipment I have. I have assembled only one column. Remember, I have not tightened the screws completely. I have left them loose. All the screws are left loose. They are not fully tightened. I mean, they are tightened by hand. They are not tightened by the Allen key. The Allen key is given to you, but that is for the end only. So I have tightened them by hand. I have not fully tightened them. Even by hand, I have not really applied a lot of pressure. I have just tightened them to the end with very nominal force. So 4 shelves have been assembled with one column. Make sure that you assemble it exactly the way as is in the video, because I have had customers who try to take a single shelf and assemble all 4 columns with that shelf. And if you assemble it in that way, you will find that you will never get the alignment. So the correct way to assemble it is all 4 shelves with one column. And now I will bring in the next column. Again, I will make sure to see that this has no threads. The one that has no threads goes on the top side. The threaded one goes on the bottom side. So here's the correct column. So I'm going to now put all the 4 shelves with the second column. The first column is done. I will now do the second column. After the second column is done, I will do the third. I will flip the rack and I will do the third column with all the shelves. Then I will do the 4th column with all the shelves. Okay. Now sometimes it's possible that the screw will not actually line up with the threads. If that happens, as I showed you in the beginning, you take the screwdriver and you adjust the insert from the bottom using the screwdriver. You adjust the insert. You rotate the insert from the bottom such that the threads line up from the top, and the screw gets screwed in correctly. So sometimes whilst assembling, what happens is that the insert rotates itself inside the wood. So you need to put the screwdriver into the notch and rotate it such that the threads that you see here, these threads, they line up so that you can assemble the screw. So yeah, here we have assembled 2 columns. Now we need to carefully flip the rack. The best way to flip the rack is have somebody help you, and you flip it once onto the side, and then you flip it back again. So here we are. Now the same way we find the correct column. We assemble the 3rd column with all the shelves, and similarly we assemble the 4th column. So that's how it's done. So all the 4 columns are now arranged. Now we start tightening the screws using the Allen screw. Now you can completely start tightening the screws using the Allen screw. And at the end you need to put the spikes where the threads are. So the spikes is put at the base. Okay, so now here it's done. As you can see, these heights are all adjustable according to those holes on the sides. You can move the column, you can move the shelf up and down as long as you are aligning the holes correctly. So now this is a 4-shelf rack. It's done. You can tighten up all these holes completely, and your usher rack is ready. You can now put in the spikes at the bottom. You can now screw on the spikes at the bottom and put the spike feet. All these shelves are height adjustable. If you ever have equipment where something has changed, you can always unscrew the shelf from here, take it 1 level down, take this 1 level down. You can play with the heights as you require.